Assalamualaikum to Madam Sri and Sir Farid. This video is to present our web project we have been working on. We do an online website called Uitm Sport Equipment E-Management System, USEMS. Here is our group members. We are from FOCDCS 2304B. Okay, I start to introduce it myself. My name is AYESHA ALMIRA binti IMRAN, and my roles as a project manager is to organize a group meetings, assign tasks for every members, making sure the project complete on time, and also monitors the group members' progress to make sure everyone communicates effectively.
Hi, my name is NURFARAH binti SUHAIMI. As a documentation coordinator, I prepare all project documents, including the proposal, progress reports, and also the final report. And I ensure they are submitted on time.
Hi, my name is NURFARAH binti RIDZUAN as a user interface designer. I design the appearance of the system and making sure the interface is simple and easy to use.
My name is BALQIS binti HAMIZUL. My role for this project is programmer, which is responsible for develop the system main function and connect the user interface to the database so that the system work properly.
Hi, my name is AFIQAH binti TAMIZI. My role is as a system tester. My responsibility is to check that each feature of the system works correctly, reports any problem, and suggest improvement for a better user experience.
Hi, my name is AIMI SYAKILA binti NAZRI, and my role is database manager. I am responsible to create and manage the database, including tables for users, booking, returns, and equipment.
Let's start with the problems we wanted to solve. In many cases, sports equipment often gets lost or misplaced, and that's mainly because everything is tracked manually. On top of that, the records are not updated in real time, so there are mistakes and missing info. Borrowing equipment also takes time because it relies on paper forms, and using spreadsheets can lead to duplicated or wrong entries. So, our solution is to fully digitize the whole process. Instead of manually tracking, we built a digital system with a real-time inventory dashboard. Students can request equipment online, and staff can approve it quickly. All the data is stored securely in one place, normal scattered files or outdated sheets. The system also comes with helpful features. Students can register, browse available equipment, and make borrowing requests. On the staff side, they can manage the inventory, approve bookings, and check return history. Everything updates in real time, even the condition of the equipment. As for the benefits, the system helps reduce lost items, speeds up the borrowing process, and cuts down errors. It's easier for staff to handle requests, and everything is stored safely in a well-organized database. So, what is USEMS exactly? It's a website designed specifically to help manage the borrowing and returning sports equipment at UITM. Our goal is to make this process simpler and faster for both student and staff. Instead of handling things manually, this system brings everything into one platform, no more paper forms or Excel sheets. USEMS helps prevent equipment loss, wrong records, and all the usual hassle of manual work. It's built to run in real time, so what you see on the system is always up to date.
Here is the user type for our system, student as the user and the staff as the admin. Okay, student is the main user who borrow the sport equipment from UITM. They can register, log in, browse available equipment, and book equipments. They can also check the booking status. And while the staff, they manage the system. They can log in, approve or reject the student bookings, update return details, and manage the equipment inventory. Staff can also view booking history and ensure the accurate stock tracking. Next, we move to system modules. We have student and staff modules. Both student and staff need to register and then log in to use the system. Apart from the register and the login, for the student module, they can view the list of all available equipment in the system. They can also book equipment by filling out the form with the required date and the quantity. Finally, they can check the approval status of their booking, either it is pending, approved or rejected by the staff. Next, under the staff module, they can approve or reject the student booking request. After the equipment is returned, staff will update the return details and the stock level in the system. They can also manage the inventory by adding, editing or deleting the equipment in the system according to the current changes. Lastly, the staff can view the booking history of the students for monitoring and reporting purpose. Here is the use case diagram. The system has two actors, student and staff. This diagram shows how they interact with the system. For function which consists of both actors, they can register by creating a new account by filling in their UITM ID, email, and other required details. Also, they need to choose their roles. Once they registered, the student and staff can log into the system by enter their ID and password and choose their role. Then, it will navigate to their own dashboard. They can reset the password if they forgot their old password by entering ID and also the new password. And they can log out after finish using the system. Now, specifically for student side, student can view equipment list. They can browse the list of all available equipment in the system with their details. Also, the student can book equipment by selecting date, quantity, purpose of borrowing, and enter the other details required. The students also can check the approval status. After submitting a booking request, the student need to check either it is being approved or rejected. Now, for the staff side, they need to approve booking requests. They can view the student request and choose to approve or reject them. Next, to update return details. After the student return the equipment, the staff can update the return status and the stock quantity in the system. Also, the staff can manage the equipment inventory. The staff can add, edit, or delete equipment, including updating the brand, name, and also the quantity. Also, the staff can view the booking history. They can view all the booking records to keep track of the usage in the system.
So first, let me look at the dbcon.php code first. So this PHP code is used to connect to the MySQL database. First, it set the database connection details. Then, it used MySQL_connect to try connecting to the database using those details. And if the connections fails, it shows an error message using die and MySQLi_connect_error. If the connection is successful, it means the PHP page can now interact with the database, like inserting or retrieving the data.
Now I will explain about login.php coding. When the login button is clicked, it sends the Uitm ID and password to the server using the post method. At the top of the code, it checks if the button was pressed using its set post login. If yes, it gets the user ID and password, then runs a SQL query to check if there are matched in the user table. If a matching user is found, their data is stored in session variables like name, role, and phone number. Next, based on their role, the user is redirected to either the staff dashboard or a student dashboard, and a login successful alert appears. If the ID or password is wrong, it shows a message saying login failed. Invalid ID or password and reloads the login page. Now I will explain about forgotpassword.php. This is the forgot password page where users can reset their password. When the user fills in their Uitm ID, new password and confirm password, then clicks the reset button, the form is sent to the server using post. The PHP code first checks if the new password and confirm password match. If they don't match, an alert will appear and the user is sent back to the form. Next, it checks if the Uitm ID exists in the database. If it does not exist, another alert appears. If everything is valid, the system will update the password in the user's table. If the update is successful, it shows a success message and redirects to the user to the login page. If the update fails, it will show an error and stay on the same page. Now I will explain about register.php coding. When the register button is clicked, it sends all the form data to the server using post. At the top of the code, there is a check. If the button is clicked, the PHP will collect all the input, which is Uitm ID, name, role, email, phone number, and password. Then it creates an SQL query to insert the data into the user tables in the database. If the insert is successful, it shows a pop-up saying the registration is successful and sends the user to the login page. If something goes wrong, it shows an error.
For the student dashboard coding, here is our 6 features, which are navigation sidebar, welcome header, and then about the system, and then the slideshow of the equipment, key features, and also the quick access button to book equipment, check approval, and view equipment.
Now I will explain about booking.php coding. This is the booking equipment page for students. When a student logins, the system checks their session to make sure they are allowed to access this page. If not, they will be redirected to the login page. The page has 3 steps for booking. Step 1, student will select, borrow, and return dates. After clicking next, the dates are saved and shown in the next step. And then the system shows a list of all available equipment from the database, and the student will check the item they want to borrow. If an item is out of stock, a warning will appear. Once valid items are selected, the student clicks next to go to the final step. And step 3, the student enters their program code, phone number, and purpose of booking. They also choose the quantity for each equipment, but it must not exceed the available stock. After completing the form, they click submit booking and the data is sent to booking_process.php to be saved. I will explain about bookingprocess.php. This file processes the equipment booking when the student submit the form. Step 1, it will validate selection. It first checks if any equipment was selected. If not, it shows an alert and goes back to the previous page. Step 2, it will collect all form inputs like Uitm ID, name, program, phone number, purpose, borrow, and return dates, selected equipment and their quantities. And then step 3, for each selected equipment, it will insert a new record into the booking table with the booking details, and then it gets generated booking ID. Step 4, it will insert return record. It insert the booking ID into the returns table, so the return status can be tracked later. Step 5, update equipment stock. The available quantity for each equipment is updated by reducing the stock based on the quantity book. And final step, it will success or failure. If everything is successful, it will show a message and sends the user to the dashboard. If any step fails, it shows an error message and stay on the same page.
Now for the check approval. This page is for students to check their booking approval. First, it starts the session and connect to the database. Then, it checks if the user is a student. If not, it blocks access. Next, here, it shows the student's name and details from the session. It checks the database for all the students' booking records. If found, it shows the student's info, including name, ID, phone, program code, and also booking ID. And also, here is a table listing all equipments they book with its status, like pending, approved, or rejected. There also a print approval button to print the page. So for the logout button, it actually appears in every page excluding the login page and also the register page. The logout sessions happens when the student clicks the logout button. It checks if the logout button was clicked using is set $_post logout. If yes, it clears all session data using session unset. Then it ends the session completely with session destroy. After that, a pop-up message says you have successfully logged out and the user is redirected to the login page. This makes sure the students is safely logged out and their session is closed. So now for the view equipment list. This page shows a list of all available equipment for students. So here, it checks if the student types something in the search bar. If yes, it searches the equipment by name. If not, it shows all equipment. Then here in the main page, it shows a search bar to find equipment by name. Then here is a table with all equipment showing the number, image, name, price, brand, and availability. If no equipment is found, it shows a message, no equipment found. Then there is a logout button that lets the student log out safely.
This is the code for the staff dashboard. Here, there will be bar chart and pie chart. Bar chart will display the most requested equipment, while pie chart will display the booking status overview, whether it is pending, rejected, approved, and complete. It will also display the total equipment, total booking, and pending approval. I use PHP to retrieve data from the booking and equipment table, and also JavaScript function. Next, for the booking history, at this page, there will display all the student bookings details. As soon as the students submit their bookings, the data will be at the booking history page. This is the code for the search and link button. This page also have table for the booking history that have column for the booking details and the equipment details. For the booking details, there will be name, phone number, program code, and purpose. And for the equipment details, there will be equipment name and quantity borrowed.
This file handles list of pending booking requests made by student. Each row shows the booking details, and at the end of each row, there are two buttons, approve and reject. When the staff click approve button, the system sends the booking ID and the word approve to another file called updatestatus.php. That file will update the booking in the database and mark it as approved. The same thing happened with the reject button. It also sends the booking ID, but this time with the word rejected, and updatestatus.php will mark that booking as rejected in the system. So basically, this button allows staff to control which booking get accepted or denied, and everything updates in real time in the database. This is updatestatus.php file. This file is responsible for handling approve and reject actions submitted from approve request.php file. This line checks two things. First one, the request must send using post, and the second one, the form must include both booking ID and action. Booking ID refer to the ID of the booking we want to approve or reject, and the action refer to the status either approved or rejected. This line validates the action is either approved or rejected. If someone tries to submit a different status, it will block the request and show an alert invalid status. This is the SQL command that updates the status of booking in the database. It sets the status to the selected action for matching booking ID. This runs the SQL update query. If successful, it shows an alert status updated to approve or reject successfully. Then it redirects the user back to the approval page. If the query fails, it alerts user and goes back to the previous page. If the form was not submitted correctly, it shows invalid request alert.
Next, for the return details, at this page, staff will be able to manage equipment returns by viewing pending returns and updating the return quantity and status of item. At this page, there is three main buttons for the staff, which is the save, edit, and complete. For the edit button, there is JavaScript functions that will allow the quantity input to be editable. While for the complete button, there is also function that check quantity match. If the return quantity is less than borrow, then the complete button cannot be clicked. Next, for the save button, if the save button is clicked, it will update the return quantity in the returns table. If the return quantity is less than borrowed quantity, it will warn the staff by displaying pop-up message. If the complete button is clicked, it will mark the status as complete in the return tables.
This file used to manage all sport equipment in the system. It used the group concept. The first one is create. At the bottom of the page, there are buttons called add new equipment. When staff click this button, a form appears to enter equipment details like name, price, brand, quantity, and image. After filling the form, staff click add equipment button. This sends the data to the database using insert query. Once added, new item will appear in the equipment list. Second one is read. All equipment items are displayed in a table automatically using select query to retrieve data from the database. The table shows item name, price, brand, quantity, availability, and image. Also with three buttons, add, subtract, and delete. Third is update. Each equipment row has two buttons, add button to increase quantity and sub button to reduce quantity. When either button is clicked, a form appears below the table. Staff enter how many to add and or subtract and click save. The system updates the quantity and availability in the database using an update query. The last one is delete. The delete button is used to remove equipment. The system deletes the item from the database using delete query. After deletion, the item is removed from the list.
This is what the user will see when they visit the website. And this is a login page. If the user does not have an account, they can register first and click to the register button. They have to fill all the form, which is UiTM ID, full name, role, email, phone, password, and confirm password. So now we will enter UiTM ID, full name, role, we will select student, and email, number phone, and password. Confirm password, that same with the password. And if the user already have an account, they can click on button login. Now we will register. So your registration is successful. Click OK, and then we will look at the database. So the data that we entered in register already in the database. So if the user forgot their password, they can click on forgot password button. So they have to fill their UiTM ID, new password, and confirm password. Enter a new password, confirm password. Now click reset, so the password reset successfully. And then we will go to the database to see the password have updated. Now we will go to the login page back, enter UiTM ID that we have registered, and then password, and then click button login. So login successful. So this is the dashboard. At the student dashboard, there are button to book equipment, check approval, and view equipment, and there are also slideshow of equipment list and also about the system. Now we will go to the book equipment. This page is when the student want to book their equipment, so they have to insert borrow date and also return date. Now we will enter borrow date first. We put 26 June on borrow date, and return date we will put 28 June. So click next button and choose the equipment that they want to borrow. So I chose shuttlecock and badminton racket. So there are also availability shown, which equipment that available on that day, and then we will click button next. They are show borrow and return date that we choose, and then we enter shuttlecock quantity and badminton racket and the program code, which is series S230, and phone number. And then we enter booking purpose, example like training. So we submit booking and booking successful. Now we will go to the database to check if the data have been entered or not. So the data, which is Abu bin Ali, borrow equipment, badminton, and shuttlecock, already in the database.
So now let me go to the check approval page. So it has been displayed that the equipment that has been booked already appeared in the check approval page, and the status is still pending. And the student can also click the button print to print the pending equipment approval. So after a while, if the students wants to check their approval again, they just can log into the system and then click on the button check approval, and then they will be displayed the status of the equipment that they have been booked before. And as you can see here, there are shuttlecock and also the badminton racket. The status of the shuttlecock is approved, and the status of the badminton racket is rejected. So if they want to save as their proof, they can just click on the button print approval, and then it will appear like this. Just click save, and then it will save into their device. And then if nothing else to do, they can just click the button log out, and then it pop up, we have successfully logged out and thank you, and then click OK, and then it will navigate to the login page again. So now let me click the view equipment button, and then it will display all of the available equipment list that has been in our system. And if the student wants to find any equipment that they want, they just can simply type the equipment they want and just click the button search, and then it will appear all of the equipment with the name that they want, and also it will be appear with the price of the equipment, also brand, and also the availability of the equipment that they have searched. So now let me click the button dashboard again. So it will appear the dashboard, and then if there is nothing else to do, they just can simply click the button log out, and then it will pop up, you have successfully logged out, and then OK, and then it will go again to the login page.
So this is the login page, the same as the student login page. And if the staff does not have an account yet, they can register first, click on register button, and then fill all the form, which is the same as the student. They will enter UiTM ID, full name, And for the role, we will select staff, and then email, phone number, password, and confirm password. But if the staff already have an account, they can click on login button. But right now we will register first and click on register button. So your registration is successful. So you go to the database, and Azmin bin Noh is already in the database as a staff. And then if the staff forgot their password, they can change their password at the forgot password button. So they can click on forgot password button, enter your Uitm ID, same as the student, new password, and also confirm password. So click on reset button. So password reset successful, and we go look at the database. So the password already changed, and now we will log in to the login page, and then click on button login. So login successful.
This is staff dashboard overview. Here it will display the total equipment, total booking, and pending approval. This is the pie chart that display the booking status overview. There is status for pending, complete, approved, and there is also status for rejected. There is also a bar chart for the most requested equipments. Next, for the booking history, this page it will display the booking details and equipment details. For the booking details, it will display the name, phone number, program, and purpose, while for the equipment details, it will display the item names and quantity. There's also a search bar that will allow staff to search student's name. For example, if the staff want to search name Abu, then it will display Abu booking details. Then there's also a back button that will relate back all the booking details of all the students.
Now I will demonstrate on how approve and reject button work in the system. This page uses approve request.php. Each row here display booking info, equipment name, quantity, and status. Before I click any button here, let me show you the database. So the database show here Abu bin Ali has booked shuttlecock and badminton racket on date 26 June. So now I will click the approve button for this booking. The system send the booking ID and the word approve to update status.php. In that file, it ran the update query on the booking table to change the status from pending to approved. Then the approve request.php will refresh, and the row I selected will disappear from the list. So it's no longer here because the status has changed to pending. So let's check the database now. So you can see here this line, Abu bin Ali booking on tennis racket have been approved. Now let's do the same thing at this page, but this time I will click reject button on this booking on tennis ball. The system send the booking ID and the word rejected to update status.php file. That file will run an update query to change the status to rejected. And now that booking has been disappeared from this list. And let's see the database. So you can see here, the booking Abu bin Ali for tennis ball has been rejected. So all the booking will store here in the booking table. Each booking has column called status, which could be approved, complete, pending, or reject. This page show pending booking. Once the status is updated, that record is no longer shown here, but is still stored in the database with a new status.
Next, for the return details, this page helps staff to manage equipment returns by viewing pending returns and updating the return quantity and status of item. So firstly, staff will need to click the edit button, and staff will be able to edit the quantity returned. So for example, if the staff input the item quantity 5 and click save, then it will display quantity updated successfully. Next, the staff will need to complete the complete button, then it will display the all item returns booking marked as complete. Then we can see in the database, in the return tables, for the booking ID 27, we can see that return status is complete. And also for the booking status, we can see that status is marked as complete. If the staff input the returned item quantity more than the item that the student borrow, it will display value must less than or equals to 4. If the quantity returned is less than quantity borrowed, it will display cannot complete, return quantity is less than borrowed. Please contact the student ASAP. Now, if the staff input the quantity returned equals to the quantity borrowed, then save, it will display quantity updated successfully. Then now, the staff can complete the return details. Then it will display all item returns, booking marked as complete. If we refresh, we can see that the status for Abu bin Ali is complete. And also for the return as well, it will display complete.
Now, I will demonstrate how to manage equipment page work in USAMS. The page is used by staff to manage all sport equipment using CRUD concept: create, read, update, and delete. I will show each action one by one while explaining how the data move between form and the database. First, we scroll to the bottom and click the green button here called Add New Equipment. This opens a form where the staff can enter an item, name, price, brand, total quantity, and upload an image. So, here is a equipment table in the database. You can see. So, I will enter a sample data, for example, basketball. And then I click Add Equipment. This send post request to the server. The PHP code receive the input and run and insert query into the equipment table. A pop-up confirm it was added successfully, and the page will reload. Now, let's load the database. So you can see here, basketball data has been added successfully. All equipment is displayed in the table automatically. This is the read process. A select query run in the background, and the PHP loop through each row of data. You can see detailed items like equipment name, price, brand, available quantity, image, equipment, and availability. So let's try update item by click add item on the soccer ball. So right now, this is the form appear after you hit button add. Now if we check the database, the current quantity availability of soccer ball is 40. Now I will edit the quantity by enter 5. That means I will add quantity by 5. And then I click save change. So the system send a post request with the updated quantity, and the PHP could run update query to increase the available quantity and availability. So the success alert appear and the page will refresh. So let's look the database. Now the quantity in the database has increased to 45 for the soccer ball. Now I will do the subtract. I will click the subs button for the same item, which is a soccer ball. And I will enter the subtract quantity 5. And then click save. The quantity before is 45. After I subs 5 unit, it's decreased to 40 again. So as you can see, this availability on the list on this page also related. You can see it also subs to 5. So lastly, I will demonstrate the delete function. I will click the delete button for the basketball. The system run the delete SQL query based on the equipment ID. Here is the pop-up ask for confirmation. So I click OK. So the pop-up say the equipment delete successfully. Let's see the database. So as you can see here, basketball has been deleted from the database.
And then after the staff done what they have done and they don't want to do anything in the system, then they just can simply click the button log out to log out from the system. And after they click button, it will pop up you have successfully logged out, and thank you. Just click OK, and then it will return to the login page.
Now, I will explain the database structure of our system USAMS. We designed the database using PHP ADNIN, and you see here is the ERT in designer mode. Our database is named USAMS and contains 4 main tables. Each table shows the fields and also the data type. The first table is the users table. This table stores information about all the users in the system, like students and the staff. Each user has an ID, Uitm ID, name, role as student or admin, email, phone number, and password. This system uses this table for login and check user roles. The next table is equipment table. This table lists all the sports equipment in the system. It includes the ID, equipment name, brand, price, and an image of the item. It also keeps track of how many items are available using the available QTY and quantity fields. The availability field shows if the item can still be borrowed or not. The next table is the booking table. This table records all equipment that students borrow. It saves the booking ID, UITM ID, name, phone number, and program code for the student. It also stores the equipment name and how many items were borrowed and the borrow and return dates. This helps system manage who borrowed what and when it should be returned. And the last table is the returns table. This table will track the equipment that students return. It connects to the booking table using the booking ID, and it shows how many items were returned in the field return QTY and the return status, for example, complete or incomplete. This table helps the system update the stock after returns. So, how the tables are connected? The returns table connects to the booking table through the booking ID. The booking table links to both users by using the UITM ID and equipment table by using the equipment name. These connections make sure the system can track bookings, users, and returns properly. To wrap up, the UITM Sports Equipment E-Management System, or USAMS, provides a much more efficient and user-friendly way to manage the borrowing of sports equipment here at UITM. It really helps reduce manual errors, prevent the loss of items, and saves a lot of time for both students and staff. Throughout this project, we have not only addressed a real problem, but we also gained hands-on experience in system development. This includes working with UI or UX design, back-end programming using PHP and MySQL, as well as planning and organizing the database structure. Most importantly, this project taught us the value of teamwork and how digital solutions like USAMS can support UITM's move towards smarter and more digital campus systems. We are proud of what we have built, and we believe it has great potential to improve the current manual process.
That's all from our group. Thank you.